All right, thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a while between drinks, but let's get straight back into it. In my last video, it was all focused on how much fun the Pusher25 is. In this video, I'm gonna elaborate a bit more on what I've found in the last 18 months of ownership and really where I think the sub 250 gram FPV drone market really sits at the moment. And a lot of things have happened, so I really want to keep up to date with that and let you guys know. So this is the first time I've been able to get the FPV out for a while, and I've got an opportunity to fly up here at Bundy. It's a place out at Avondale that it's a nice big property, it's a beautiful space, and it's got plenty of tight little gaps, so I should be able to push the 25 to the limit and just get some practice under my belt, because I think that's what I need most at the moment. All right, let's see how much rust is in the old joints. The great thing about having somewhere like this to practice is you can really relax and not worry about intruders, and you can concentrate on your flying techniques. The main goal with these practice runs is to get used to flying in residential spaces. I reckon it's important to practice in the type of areas that you're going to want to fly in the future, so that's why I'm here, just putting in the time, getting used to these situations. There's not going to be a big advantage to me practicing in the park all the time. I need to get into these real world situations to really hone the skills. Real estate could be a good avenue for my FPV career, but you don't want to waste time in front of the client crashing your drones and getting yourself comfortable. So that's why this time is really good. It means that when I get on location, I'm ready to go. Properties that are big like this one and have plenty of space to get in and out, but still some tight gaps to keep it interesting, will be a good start. From here, I can just keep challenging myself to get more fluid and to make the spaces smaller and harder to fly in. That's just going to increase my skills overall. So the main point I really want to hammer home with the Pusher25 setup is that this sort of weight category and size and the way that this frame is set up, it's so safe that you can fly it in situations you just wouldn't otherwise. Yeah, normal FPV drones or even the cine whoops that have the traditional setup, they cause a bit more trouble, and this is just so non-offensive. Besides the noise it just makes it feel really capable and able to fly in any situation. So it just really empowers you, and where other drones are sort of a little bit more intimidating, this one's sort of like your digital frisbee or something, so it really lets you get into spaces that you just wouldn't otherwise. The fact that the Pusher25 doesn't carry a full-size GoPro is not a big deal. You can obviously go to the GoPro Bones or a stripped-down naked GoPro. I fired this one with the DJI Action 2, and I found that the footage has been fine. One of the big things that I've always wanted to do with an FPV drone setup is to incorporate the shots, the dynamic filming, cinematic shots you get from these drones, and incorporate it into a client's job so that we can find a functional and monetizable benefit to this sort of drone flying and drone capability. And obviously you're seeing it all over the world explode at the moment for all types of marketing purposes. So I just want to try and push the envelope as much as I can here in our little space on the sunny coast. And this drone, this setup, has been the drone that's allowed me to really achieve that goal and use it in a client video. So just done the second take of the FPV drone flying up here at Elliott Falls. We've taken 8 days to get here, 8 days of solid travel, many thousands of kilometers. I've been itching to get these FPVs out. Couldn't think of a better spot. First time round, I crashed it straight into my shoulder. I was so keen to get it home. And second time, I was able to avoid that. Got it behind me. I think I got the shots of the guys jumping into the water. It's pretty fucking amazing to be able to do these FPV things all the way up here. And I don't know, but has anyone else done this yet? Not sure. Because of its size, because of its non-offensive nature, I was able to really confidently fly this around people. They felt comfortable too, and that was able to get some really cool shots that you can't with any other drone in spaces that were really remote and isolated. So it shows the little drone doesn't hold it back. The little footprint doesn't hold it back from doing big things. So yeah, I'd definitely say this is my favorite drone at the moment. Obviously there's been a lot of changes as well in the sub 250 grand drone market, but this is still standing up pretty strong at the moment. So the biggest thing when you're getting into the FPV drones is practicing, and having such a small drone that you can take anywhere and almost fly anywhere means that you can practice more. And because everything's happening in a smaller scale or in a bigger scale, whichever way you want to look at it, the drones moving in smaller spaces is much harder to manage. So it trains your hand-eye coordination at a much higher level. So it's been so good in so many ways to practice in the small spaces, and that's what the really powerful thing is about the small drone. The other big milestone that I was really hoping to achieve with FPV drones was flying out over open oceans and over the water, because anyone who's been following my work for any time knows that my favorite place to shoot is coastlines and at the beach and that sort of stuff. So getting the FPVs, or getting my skills to the level where the FPVs felt comfortable for me out over open water was a big deal. So at some stage I had to take the plunge, and again, because you feel so confident with this guy, this was the first sacrifice, and it held up really well for the conditions it was in. You'll see in the footage here that it was pushing hard, and if you hear it, if I turn up the sound for just a little bit, you'll hear us working really hard. But it came home, it spun the battery to absolute hell, but it still did it. It's amazing, and it was again able to get really tight into the action. Really fun drone to fly. I wouldn't really recommend it over open ocean in that way all the time, but it was good nonetheless. Now, once I take this out over the ocean, it obviously gives you a bit of a taste of what could be. So on to bigger and better things for that. But I basically just want to say that at this stage in my FPV drone flying career, this is like the best, most fun drone I can recommend to anyone. If I had my time again, I wouldn't have bothered with the 35. I would have just got the 25. Much easier to deal with. I just think that it does everything that this one does. It just does it more easily. This one obviously carries the bigger camera, but when it comes down to it, what's happening now in the market space with the DJI OM3 air unit, there's probably not much need for this DJI Action 2 anymore. So with the next technology round that I purchase, we'll get the upgraded VTX that'll do all the internal recording in maybe even smaller drones. So whilst this has been good, I guess keep an eye. I'll have a few links here of some new drones that are maybe even better than this now. If I had my time now, that's what I'd be doing, but I'm going to thrash this until it's done. This has withstood some of the most harsh conditions in Australia, and it did such a good job. Such a big fan, and the ProTek iFlight Pusher25 can highly recommend it. It's probably not available too much anymore, but anything that has similar configuration to this is amazing. And if you have any questions about my thoughts on any of the new ones, feel free to hit us up in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and the next video won't take so long to come out, I promise.